Hey guys, welcome to the Players Point E3 recap of the Microsoft press conference. We just finished watching it. I've got Chris Butts, Sam Sorry, Kronos Trinity, Keegan, and Chris Berg here to talk about what we saw from the Xbox press conference. We're going to be doing this all day too, so if you want to see lots of coverage on E3, subscribe to our channel and stay tuned for more. But initially, guys, I want to get your opinions on what you thought of what we saw at this first press conference. Did it set the tone for the day? What was the thing that really kind of got you most excited, or was it just kind of a lukewarm experience for you? I'll let Chris, you take it away first, Mr. Butts.
Alright, so surprisingly for me, something that really stood out to me was Call of Duty. And people are gonna be like, "Oh, Call of Duty," but it's a lot different, and it surprised me. It kind of flanked me, I guess you can say.
Oh, flanked you, did it?
It flanked me, indeed.
It was the first thing they really started talking about, and I mean, they moved from there. Initially, the thought that it really made me kind of interested, I was kind of chuckling in a way, was like last year was about a lot of TV, a lot of about the Kinect, and it wasn't really about the gamers. And they came out saying we're gonna talk all about games, and you guys are shaping the console. And I was like, okay, so you're really kind of selling the message that you've been changing, because they were not like that at all last year, and they obviously started changing that a bit now. But this conference, the first time they've really been public about kind of being like, this is, we kind of are changing our message a little bit about this console, and I thought that was interesting to see that come out right away.
Yeah, that was a big repetitive theme I saw as well.
Yeah, I mean, besides from that, we moved into, like I said, Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, and the thing is I took away from that were the smart grenades that look kind of cool, being able to change a grenade on the fly. For me, it didn't really pull me in super. I'm excited for the game. I think it might be cool. It might be a good multiplayer game to play this fall. But yeah, it wasn't something that really struck me. The interesting part I want to note though is in the trailer, the character you're playing as loses his arm. So we're gonna have some like cybernetics going on. You're gonna be a cyborg. What's gonna happen? That's maybe something. I don't know. We'll see. But what do the rest of you guys think about the trailer? Did that kind of stick out to you, or was it kind of a moot point to start off the show?
Well, I feel like it was a good idea for them to start off with Call of Duty, just because Call of Duty is the big series that's always been going on, and everybody knows about it. And also, personally for me, I like Call of Duty multiplayers because they have multiplayer like really developed, and they have that down. But when they were just playing this, and they were playing the campaign wherever in the story mode that they were. What I personally liked is I liked almost how it didn't really look like a Call of Duty game to me. Like it didn't look like obviously the campaign still looked linear, and it looked like you had to go one place and kill enemies on the way. But the way that they set it up looked a lot more different and a lot bigger and a lot more expansive, and that's personally what I liked about this new Call of Duty that they're coming out with.
I like the backdrop as well. I thought it was a cool place to kind of show some gameplay. Any other thoughts on it, guys? Or
Yeah,
Yeah.
go ahead.
All right. So I thought it was pretty good. I'm not really jaded when it comes to Call of Duty. I've liked all of the Call of Duty so far. I'm not like, oh, this one sucked. This one was a horrible. Like Modern Warfare 3 got a lot of hate, and I don't like Call of Duty in itself is a great game for me because it gives you an easy way to play with your friends, and it gives you a multiplayer experience that a lot of games can't do. And as long as they keep updating it in a way, like don't keep it the same, then you're doing a good job, and that's what they're doing with this game. So I think that it's going to be like every other game or every other Call of Duty where sells a lot of copies, gets a lot of players, people are going to give it hate, but in all, like people are still going to play it. So I think it didn't, like the trailer itself was pretty good. It wasn't something like, I don't think it was so show offy.
it wasn't
like the rest
blow
of
out
the
of the
trailers.
water for me. It wasn't like, oh, new
Yeah.
Call of Duty. It looked
Same.
good. Sledgehammer making it. I'm excited to see what they do, and I might even play it this fall. But I wasn't like, oh shit, new Call of Duty looks like revolutionary. It was very
Right.
much more of the same, and that's what I don't expect us to see that.
Right.
Do you have a point, Butts, you want to bring in there, or
Yeah, yeah. See, when I said flank, I didn't mean as in like surprise they're bringing out a new Call of Duty. As in like just the way the game is developed and how Sledgehammer has taken the game. It's a lot. It's different, but it's the same in different ways. if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it's more of the same, but it looks like it's improving on what it's trying to do. And
Yeah,
I'm
most
skeptical. I want
definitely.
to see more of it, but that's kind of where I'm seeing that. Let's keep the ball rolling though, because we got a lot to get through. We're gonna go through some Forza stuff now. Nürburgring has been announced for Forza 5 for free, which is a small note, but it attracted a lot of people really like from the previous games. So that's kind of cool that they added that on. And Forza Horizon 2 has been announced for September 30th. We've already heard about this game coming out. But this is more of the off-road, open-world type of interpretation of the Forza series. And, I mean, for racing fans, this is a different take on, you know, the Forza franchise, and obviously one that had some positive feedback when it came out the first time. So, not something that the trailer didn't really, do anything for me, but I'm excited to see more of this game. Do you have any thoughts on that one, guys, or is it kind of a mute point overall? Or
I personally. Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay.
I personally didn't really play a lot of the Forza games, but I have played racing games, and I have actually played Forza, just like not expansively. What I do like about this is that, like you said, Bryden, it has the open worldness, and I know some people might like not like that particular aspect of the game, but I do like how they have it so it's open world, and they said that they're integrating the day-night cycle and the weather cycles. So they're trying to get it feel more realistic and try to bring the player into the game more.
yeah,
Um,
I'm
but
excited to see it. I think it'll look cool.
I'm I'm excited to see what the open world is like though. I don't know if it's gonna be like, um, it's like Grand Theft Auto that you can never leave your car in, or if it's gonna be like I don't know what
Oh,
they.
they've already had Horizon, right? So Horizon was very much a game that you were traveling around, you were being in these events and stuff like that. But think more of if you played Need for Speed Rivals, the one that came out recently,
Yeah.
more kind of
Yeah.
the open world perspective where you jump into races and stuff. Won't be exactly like that, but it'll be a bit similar. I want to keep the ball rolling though as well. That Evolve had a trailer at the conference as well. Obviously, this is a game that's going to be coming out for multiple platforms, but they announced that there's going to be a beta and DLC exclusive to. Like the beta is not exclusive. Beta will be first on the Xbox One. DLC will be something that they probably come out with, similar to stuff like Call of Duty and stuff like where it comes out first for them and follows it up. Point I wanted to make on this: nothing really major in this trailer except for the new map that they showed off. And I'm gonna really botch this, but Cthulhu kind of looking monster there. Like I really like the design of the new monster because we've seen previous trailers for this. It was a different type of monster. I thought it was just one. Turns out there's two, and maybe even more coming up from that. So yeah, I thought that was a cool trailer. Any thoughts on that one, guys? Or
Yeah, that's okay. So Evolve is like Evolve was the game I was looking forward to throughout E3. I wanted to see the trailer and I want to see whatever they had to offer because that's to me that's gonna be like the bee's knees. I love Evolve, just looks so cool. But right, same thing with Brighton. When I saw the first monster in the first gameplay, I thought it was cool, and I thought like I didn't know like with maps wise or characters or the monsters what difference it was gonna be. But now that I see the new monster and stuff, it's kind of like a more exciting.
it's different. It's something like
Right.
I wasn't sure how deep this game would be. Are we just gonna have one monster and these guys, and that's what's gonna be? Like that monster looks cooler to me than the other one.
Yeah.
So I mean, like I like the idea that it has different powers as well. That'll add some features. Like when you're playing as the guys, you're gonna have all these different types of options that you want to play with. But the monster, it seemed like it was kind of be maybe a little repetitive. If there's gonna be different ones for different maps, then you'll have to kind of get good at certain ones for certain areas. So that was something that I thought looked pretty cool as
And
well for that.
I think I don't know if I'm mixing up trailers with other trailers, but this is the one where they said that you can also play as the monster too. Is that what the
Yeah,
Yes.
no, it's the Evolve is about you playing. It's a multiplayer game where you have the four players that are trying to hunt down the monster, but the monster is also it's also a player as well. So there'll be that. Fable Legends kind of did that, where it's like the four dudes and then the villain, same thing.
Yeah.
But that really didn't speak to me comparatively. Let's keep on going though. Besides from that, I mean, the thing that really probably one of the biggest things that stood out to me at this conference, I didn't expect it to do so, was the Assassin's Creed Unity trailer. And the reason why is because that's such a franchise that I've enjoyed, but it's kind of gone a bit route, maybe a bit of Call of Duty-esque style to it, where it's like you see it every year and you expect some things to be different and you're excited for it, but not that massive change. And this trailer looked really nice. France, the French Revolution, the way that they were presenting that looked really cool. But on top of that, the fact that you can play with other assassins and they're not just computer players, like actually having your friends playing and going in and doing a mission, the idea of that potentially being a part of the story and being a big part of that has me really, really excited to see more from this game. And probably, honestly, this is probably the most excited that I've been about Assassin's Creed games since Assassin's Creed 2, which is saying a lot because I used to love the Assassin's Creed franchise, and that's something that made me really excited. I want to get your thoughts, though. I'm not sure. Maybe I'm probably the one that's most excited about it. But Keegan, I know you were saying that you have a lot of love for history, and this game kind of spoke to you because of that. What did you
I
think of the trailer?
I looked at the trailer. Like I haven't played Assassin's Creed 2 too much. I have one Assassin's Creed. I don't know. But I looked at the trailer and I'm like, I've studied history. Like I've studied the French Revolution stuff, and this what they showed off really captures it kind of well, and it actually looks really cool. Especially playing with friends. That's some things that sometimes kind of push me away from games is being forced into single player. But if there's like a co-op option, like playing with friends definitely sounds fun, and this is probably the one that stuck out to me the most throughout the entire conference.
Yeah, that's the way I felt. What about you guys? What do you guys think of the trailer there?
I don't even like Assassin's Creed, and I'm excited. It looked really good.
I'm
I mean,
I'm. Oh, sorry. You can continue.
I think it's going to be fun just with the multiplayer aspect if it is worked into the single player rather than just having scenario type missions that you can just play. If it works into the single player or the campaign, that's going to be amazing.
I think that's what they kind of showed it off as, is that you
Yeah.
get to play through the story with your friends.
So following that up, we also had Dragon Age Inquisition that had a trailer too, which was it looked cool. We've seen quite a bit of this game so far, so it's kind of a point that more of the same, if you will. I'm excited for that game definitely, but not something that I felt like there's massive reveals in regards to that. But nice to see that there. The Sunset Overdrive trailer though was pretty funny. I was like, what's this generic looking boring old game that they're showing? Like I don't want to see this. And then it turned out that it was a spoof on Sunset Overdrive because the idea of the game is it's supposed to be fun and different and cool, dude. And they did the gameplay as well for it, which looked pretty sweet. We've already seen gameplay for it though too, and I'm excited for that game. I think that's one of the few games that has me pumped for Xbox, and I don't have an Xbox One right now, but you kind of want, if you're looking at this conference from the perspective of not owning an Xbox One, you want stuff to make you excited for more, and that was definitely one that kind of had me interested there. What do you guys think of the Overdrive trailer / gameplay though? Was there any thoughts on that one from you guys?
Um, that was pretty amazing to me. Just the comedy that they had in the trailer, it kind of sold it for me alone. But the gameplay looked pretty cool. It was more cartoony than what I expected, but that's what the game is, and that kind of just made it even better for me. And I really like where they're going with this, and it just seemed like a really fun, relaxed game that you can play with just your friends, or in a way, kind of like Dead Rising. Like Dead Rising
Yeah.
wasn't such a serious game that you can,
Co-op fun, right? Like that's kind of what it's
Yeah.
offering. Yeah, and I mean they also showed off some Dead Rising co-op stuff that's kind of very tongue-in-cheek for the anniversary of Capcom, making fun of like their Super Street Fighter Ultra, like stuff like that. They're like Ultra Dead Rising 3 XEX blah 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 blah, and that doesn't really do anything for me. But it was kind of funny to see that they did that joke there. Besides from that though, we had a Dance Central that got a Dance Central Spotlight coming out in September, and more information on Fantasia. But again, games that don't really speak to me overly. Dance Central is a big selling game though for Xbox, so kind of cool to see that they're gonna have one coming out for that. And then another big one that they showed off, because there hasn't been that much about this game. They showed Fable Legends off. They showed gameplay for Fable Legends. I've liked the Fable series. I played Fable 2, I played a bit of Fable 3, and I played Fable, the original one, as well. But I wasn't overly in love with this gameplay. It wasn't really jumping out at me. I felt like there was Assassin's Creed kind of set the bar for like innovation in this this conference, and this kind of felt a bit route in regards to what they were showing off. But I want to hear your guys' opinions. Did this kind of interest any of you guys? Were you liking the Fable Legends gameplay that they showed off?
I don't know, like I was watching it, and like they had to become the villain thing, but I'm like, looking at all the other games, there were other games that were just better than it.
Yeah.
Like I mean, the being a villain thing, Evolve is probably going to do that better. Like if I'm looking for something where I can play the villain type role, Evolve is probably where I'm going to go.
Right. I've never really played any of the Fables. I played the one that was free for Xbox, and I got really over it. But so I don't know gameplay wise how much better this is than the previous ones.
It looks very
But
much the same. That's what kind of I got, but you're playing with other people at the same time too.
okay,
And the big catch they were selling there was that you can be the villain as well and set up the traps and stuff like that. But it kind of comes
right.
off as a very casual game in some regards. You know, like Evolve's doing the 4v1 and it seems kind of intense. You know, you're gonna have to be really
Yeah.
good at that game to play it. This one feels a little bit more like Fable. You know, it plays into the game for sure, but at the same time too, I wasn't really getting super excited by that. Moving on from that though. Continuing on with voice actors that were annoying me, Project Spark had this trailer, and this is very much gonna be like a Little Big Planet kind of game where you're creating your levels, which is cool. But the trailer didn't really stand out to me massively. The one thing I will say though is the tease of this conference is when Conquer came on the screen, and I was like, "Oh my God, they're gonna make a new Conquer game," and they're like, "Nah, it's just for Project Spark. You can make Conquer levels if you want to," and I was like, "Motherfucker."
Yeah, I don't know. The voice acting, like breaking the fourth wall is something that is like cool to have every once in a while. But they just seem to do that way too much. It just feels like the characters,
Yeah,
like for that game, just don't seem enjoyable
and it's
to
kind of
play
like
with.
they're doing it too, like in a way that they're like, this is with someone playing, like kind of like the Division, where like the voices talk in the Division trailer.
I liked last year's trailer a little bit better. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I
It
thought
just seemed,
it was a better way to show off the game, I think. But you know, still a game I'm excited for in some regards because it could be really cool the way that you can make games for it.
right, real quick, real quick. One thing that I remember last year they were really keen on, and this year they didn't talk about at all was the Xbox Smart Glass. How they were gonna like integrate that like super crazy high tech future next gen thing, and
Yeah,
this year they didn't even mention it at all. Like not
not
one
even
word.
there. So
So I don't know.
yeah. That and Connect, you didn't hear Connect all that much. The only time they did anything for Connect was when they talked about Dance Central and Fantasia. But they didn't really talk about those being Connect games, really. They were just kind of like, and these are games coming out, you should play them. They weren't like, oh, and the Connect's awesome, or something like that, you know? They
Right.
really cut that out. They moved on to indies after that, though, and they highlighted the new game coming from, or I don't even know the developer of this game, but Ori and the Blind Forest was a trailer they showed off, which kind of looks cool. But I need to see more of that game, and obviously it might be a small indie game that could be picked up in the future. But they want to show that they're in the indie scene as well. And they moved on from that to, what was it there? The Halo 5 trailer, followed up by talking about the Master Chief Remastered Collection, and on top of that too, the fact that with that you'll be able to get access to the Halo 5 beta and also get the TV show or the TV series that they're doing. So Halo is a series that I have enjoyed from a distance. I've never really been a massive Halo fan. I want to get your guys' opinions on this, though, because I feel like some of you probably have more say in this than I do. What did you think of the Halo 5 trailer, number one, and number two, of the Master Chief Collection that's coming out?
It was definitely a good. It's gonna be a good buy. It's for someone like me who's liked Halo for all that time. It's something that you can look forward to, like the remastering and stuff. Halo 5, I haven't really looked too much into, so this is kind of new to me, and it looks cool, but definitely the TV show something to look forward to. Looked epic, and the Halo, especially Halo 2, because Halo 2 was just like, I mean, dual wielding needlers. Like, what more do you want in life, honestly? So,
What more do you
that's
want?
kind
I could be mistaken, but from what I saw from the Halo 5 trailer, it looked almost like I was paying attention to it. It looked almost like these characters that were talking in the background were looking and like searching for Master Chief. I don't know if they're searching for Master Chief, if they want to like be his enemy or be his ally. But that's just what I got from the actual trailer for Halo 5. And then for the remastering, I've actually played. I played Halo Anniversary and Halo CE, but well, I liked what they did with Halo Anniversary, where they had the classics and the remastered versions.
Yeah.
And they're doing that with Halo 2, and I really do like that. And I'm excited to see what they do. I'm not sure if are they remastering every single or like well not Halo 4 but Halo 3 also as well for this pack for this.
I believe so. That's what they're saying, that each of these ones will be remastered so you can play them, obviously, with classic or new mode. And I think that's really cool how they did that. That's a lot of effort. That's a lot of time. And even with probably Halo 4, they have it bumped up a little bit as well. Not massively because it's a pretty new game, but a couple small things might have been added in that regard. But I'm excited for that. That's something I think a lot of people are really gonna like, and it's cool to see that they brought out that collection. Moving on from that, they kind of went on to more indie titles because they did the little indie dip, then they went to Halo, then they came back to indie, and they talked about Limbo's, the creators Playdead that made Limbo, their new game called Inside, which is probably one of the bigger ones of this conference for me as well. I really like the art style that they're going for there. Kind of the idea that all these people are, either zombies or brainwashed, what's going on exactly, and just kind of very bleak art style going on there. I thought it looked really cool. I'm excited to see that, and I'm going to be doing a trailer analysis on that later on, just kind of highlighting what I liked and disliked about it, and what I think the game might be about a little bit. I thought it was pretty cool. And then they showed ID at Xbox Showcase, kind of doing a highlight reel of all the games that are going to be coming to the Xbox One, and probably 360 as well in some cases. And the one I wanted to highlight there was Lovers in a Dangerous Space Time is going to probably be an exclusive for Xbox One, or at least a timed exclusive. And that game was a game I played at PAX last year, and I had a lot of fun playing it. Probably my second favorite game that I played at PAX last year. So that was kind of the thing where, as a person that doesn't own an Xbox One right now, I was kind of like, oh no, but I'm really excited for them too because that's a really cool game, and I'm excited to see it's coming to consoles as well. But probably one of the bigger trailers came after that was Who's This Girl in the Cloak, and it kind of came pretty apparent as she was, using certain weapons and stuff like that. The new Tomb Raider game got announced. Rise of the Tomb Raider was the name of it, and a CG trailer, super quick, but gives us an idea that there is a Tomb Raider coming in 2015 probably. And I loved the new Tomb Raider reboot. I thought it was a really fun game, so I'm excited to see more from this coming ahead. I want to get your guys' opinions on this one though. Tomb Raider fans, what do you think? And also, if not, what did this stand out in any way to you guys?
Starting out, I just want to say that I was actually a little bit more excited whenever I first started seeing the trailer, just because I thought it was another Beyond Two Souls title or one of the franchise because of the psychiatrist. But looking through it and watching it, it just looks really incredible. They went all out with the CGI on this one. It's got me hyped, to be honest. I used to play the old school Tomb Raiders, and now this one looks great. But did they say it was Xbox 360? Xbox One exclusive?
No, it's not going to be. It's going to be.
Oh, thank heavens. Okay, so I'll definitely get to play it then.
Yeah. What about you guys? Any other opinions on that, or?
I've not played any of the Tomb Raiders personally, but looking at it, it did look really cool. I am aware of the series too, and I'm aware of what it's about, and I do like how it looks and how what kind of feel that they're going for, because they're going it looked from just watching the trailer, it looked really bleak and like you're alone and you're trying to redeem yourself almost is what it looked like, but I'm not quite sure about the whole story behind it, and also.
Sorry, I was just going to say the end of the first game was kind of like she was finally like, okay, this is what I'm going to do now. Like, the first game was about her being stuck on an island and not really knowing what the hell she's doing and finally getting used to some of that stuff. And at the end of it, she's like, this is kind of, I like this whole tomb raiding thing, and I think this game's going to be a lot more about actually her going on artifact adventures and stuff like that, and a lot less about, kind of what the first game was about. So I'm excited to see that more, because that's kind of what the series is really about. But this kind of her... If there's an arc in the story, the first one was the prologue. This is the first real this is my thing now. And then probably if they do a third game, it'll be like I'm the veteran type of thing. Like I've been doing this for a while, So this is kind of the middle point in the story arc. But besides from that, let's keep on moving with Witcher 3 gameplay that was shown off. And this is the first time I've actually seen Witcher 3 gameplay, so super excited to see it. And it looks really, really good. Like I was surprised to see it running that way. It looked really nice. Obviously a little bit of hitches, a couple points, but for the fact that it looks so great in the trailers, and hoping that this game looked as good as that for an open world game, it looks amazing so far. Very simple kind of actual gameplay showing off the hunt, but I was really sold on that, and probably one of the better parts of the conference for me. So
it looks incredible, to be honest. The fighting system, the fighting style looked really great. One thing I can say that I didn't like about the trailer was because he was only using one sword at first, right? Yeah, that's what I caught. And then whenever the giant griffin kind of knocked it away, he drew his other sword. I don't like not having control of that another sword the entire fight. I like to
Oh,
be
you
able to just
would.
start off.
That's just a part of the trailer. Like, it's not going to be a thing that you know, like, the idea is that one is for killing creatures and the other one is for killing humans. But yeah, no, I thought it looked really cool. And yeah, I didn't like how they cut that because I would have liked to just see the kill the way it would have normally been. But
Yeah,
I
exactly.
enjoyed the trailer regardless for what it showed off. So we'll move on to another exclusive that got shown off, and that's Phantom Dust, which I actually really don't know that much about at all. They're saying as a previous franchise from, or like a classic franchise cult franchise. So, do you guys, any of you know about the Phantom Dust series or what it is, kind of?
Not really, no.
Not at all.
Okay, well,
No.
we'll pass on that then. I'm sorry not to really have the knowledge on that one, but it's something that we can definitely look forward to and see where it's coming from. I almost got a fighting game-esque feeling from it, but I don't know for sure, because the Killer Instinct guy was showing it off, so I don't know if that means it's a new fighting game, or what are we going to get from that exactly, but something to stay tuned for and see what will come out of that. But wrapping it up, we're getting close to the end here. Division gameplay was shown off, which looked really cool, but it's kind of more of the same that we saw from last year, you know? So I didn't really feel like, wow, this looks great. It was more like, oh, just more Division, you know? It's kind of sweet to see that.
Did we talk about Fable while I was away?
Yeah, we did.
Damn. Okay, that's good at least. I was making sure we didn't miss it.
No, definitely. I got it all written down in my handy dandy. But yeah, the last three that we got here is Platinum Games came out with another exclusive as well for Xbox, and that was the Scalebound trailer, which I love Platinum Games and I love what they've done in the past, but I'm not super stoked on this yet. I need to see actual gameplay and know what this is, because it's a CG trailer kind of showing off, you know. Don't really know what it's going to be, but I want to get your opinions on it. I was kind of like, eh. But what do you guys like? What do you guys think about that one?
I think it kind of had the same reaction, like, hey, it looks kind of cool, but I have no idea what it is.
Yeah.
So kind of hard to get excited for something like that.
All right.
Yeah, I felt
Same
that
here.
same exact way. Like, yeah, it's the same exact words. Like, it looked cool, but I'm not quite sure what kind of game it is, so I don't know what to expect out of it.
Mm-hmm. But we got two more besides from that. Wrapping this up, Xbox exclusive trailer as well for Crackdown. I assume Crackdown 3, and that was something actually I wasn't super. I don't know. I was again another thing that I wasn't crazy about. So there wasn't anything that really blew me away from Xbox specifically for exclusives. The only one that I'm interested in is the Phantom Dust. I want to know more about that game, but yeah, this one.
Right.
What?
Crackdown's explosive trailer didn't blow you away. It was clearly made by Michael Bay.
Did not, unfortunately. But yeah, I mean, Crackdown's a cool series, and it might be a fun game to play, but it wasn't something that I felt like they could end their conference on, you know? Like, I was expecting something bigger. I was
Yeah,
saying
it
in the
was too
chat,
flashy.
I was like, Gears of War is coming. They're going to show off Gears of War. And they did, but they showed it off in, like, a logo and, like, about 2 seconds of gameplay, so, I mean...
Yeah.
And that was in the sizzle reel,
It's-
along with the
It
quantum
is
break
kind
stuff.
of weird.
But...
It is kind of weird that it didn't get much love whenever Dead Rising 3 Hyper Deluxe Alpha Beta bullshit got so much light.
They don't
I would have liked
have...
to have seen some Gears of War.
The game's not ready though, you know? Like
Yeah.
they've been working on it for about a month or so they obviously haven't had the time to put something together, which makes sense, but I was hoping that they'd have a little tidbit, you know, at least, but they didn't obviously, so.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
a little bit of cheese for the mice. Just gets
But I'm gonna ask you guys as a whole, what do you guys thought of the conference, and I'll wrap it up by saying what our favorite parts of the conference were as well, or your favorite thing that you saw. I'll start off with myself, so I'll give you guys some time to think about it, but for me, I thought the conference was pretty good. I like that they came on and really talked about a lot of games. I thought that was, you know, a solid thing for them to do. For sure, the Assassin's Creed demo was probably my favorite, and the reason why it was my favorite is because they actually talked about the fact that it's going to be 4-player possibly, and you can be able to do that in single-player gameplay, which sounds really awesome to me. And I mean, besides from that, I really liked the new trailer from Playdead for Inside. I thought that was really cool too. Nothing really blew me away though, where I was like, I need an Xbox for this game. I mean, there are some games now that are starting to, you know, like Quantum Break's interesting me. They didn't really show that much off of it. I want to play Sunset Overdrive. There's going to be some games coming out in the future that I want to play as well, and it's going to start building up. So there's going to be a point that I finally make the purchase, but there was no trailer here where I was like, oh shit, I need this, you know. That's kind of the feeling I had by the end of the conference. But over to you, Chris Burr. What did you think of it?
I thought it was pretty good. I thought compared to last year, it wasn't as like ba bang, you know, super exciting. Everyone needs to buy every game that's shown off, and But it was definitely something like they were. It wasn't dull at all. It wasn't lukewarm. It was definitely something that kept you interesting. There was a lot of filler games and a lot of like filler trailers, but definitely my favorite out of everything was probably Evolve, just because I'm looking forward to that game so much, and there's a lot of purchases that after seeing these trailers I'm gonna make, but not too bad. I think it was pretty. They kept on track, if anything. It wasn't bad at all, but it wasn't nothing like you said. Nothing blew me away. It
Yeah.
was just there.
It was good. I thought it was a good conference, but it wasn't like, oh, shit, what's Sony gonna do this evening, right? It was kind of like, oh,
Right.
that was a good conference. What do you think, Keegan?
I think coming from their perspective of someone who plays PlayStation and Nintendo and stuff, like nothing there kind of made me like, all right, well, I'm gonna go buy my Xbox One tonight and make sure I have it for all these games to come out. Nothing really stuck out. I think the highlight, I guess, for me was Assassin's Creed, and I'm pretty sure that's multi-platform though, right?
It is, yeah. It'll be on all
Okay, yeah.
consoles. So
Yeah, so I mean, like, there's no games that I look in there, I'm like, all right, I have to get my Xbox One now. I mean, they're cool, but it's nothing that I'm gonna be shelling out money because I have to play it.
what about you, KT?
It's weird. You go from calling me Katie to Chronos. You're confusing me, man.
I throw it back and forth, whatever I'm feeling.
Keep it fresh. Keep it fresh. I was actually really surprised with the E3 conference. One thing that I had started to notice was that the whole Xbox and Microsoft thing is going with a more colorful and less gritty and violent vibe. Like,
Yeah.
there wasn't anything, as you guys said, that blew me out of the water and made me go, oh man, I need an Xbox One now. But I will say it was a solid conference. One thing I did get fed up with was how much they broke the fourth wall. I mean, at first it was, and it just kind of just get on with the game. Come on, man. I mean, a little bit too much. I don't know, and maybe that's just me. But,
No, I agree. There was some of that. What was your favorite game that you saw?
oh man, I would say it'd be a cross between either Fable or Assassin's Creed. I really like the Assassin's Creed footage that we saw, actually.
Cool. What about you, Sam?
I felt like the conference overall was really solid. Like all of you guys said, I'm not gonna go out and buy an Xbox One like right now because of any particular game that stood out. But I did like how Xbox for their conference they decided to like focus on just the games and show us a lot of games rather than what they did last year and show out like the other stuff like that. But I think probably my favorite game that I saw was Assassin's Creed, and I do like the multiplayer aspect that they're bringing in because Assassin's Creed is a good game. But one that really surprised me that I didn't think was that I wasn't really expecting was the Sunset Overdrive, because I've never heard of this game before, and I see this and. First off, I love the trailer. I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah.
But once it got into the actual gameplay, it looked like a really solid game. I think I am gonna probably, if it is cross-platform, I might go out and get that game.
It'll be an Xbox One exclusive, so that's the unfortunate part about that one. But there's games like that will eventually get you there. Like for me, Sunset Overdrive is not a game that I will go out and buy an Xbox One for, but I start adding it to the list. Like it starts to become like, oh, if I go get an Xbox One, then I can get Sunset Overdrive, this, that, and the other thing. Like, it starts making that list that I stare at and say, okay, finally, I have to go do this, But I think we can kind of say from what we said there that it sounds like Assassin's Creed really came out and did a solid there. If you guys want to hear about the games we like the most from E3 as well, you can stay tuned. We'll be doing an editorial on our favorite games from E3 coming out in a couple days. That'll obviously be after all the conferences and after all the trailers. But it sounds like that's one that's going to definitely get some love from us here. That's it for this recap, though. Thank you for watching. If you want to see our EA, Ubisoft, and Sony press conference recaps along for Nintendo tomorrow, stay tuned to our channel. Like, subscribe, let us know what you think, and also give us your thoughts on your favorite games that we saw, and also what you thought of the conferences as well. And yeah, that's the point of this episode. But you know what? You can stay tuned more and find out more points from the player's point. Until then, thank you for watching. We'll see you around.